Hello everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Vorse, coming to you this week from Rome, the Eternal City. Today we're standing right on the Milvian Bridge. It was here on October 28th, 312, that Constantine's forces defeated the army of Maxentius and took control of Rome. Constantine and Maxentius were co-emperors in a system established by their predecessor, the Emperor Diocletian, the notorious persecutor of the faith. The day of the battle, Constantine led his soldiers down this road, the Via Flaminia, the main thoroughfare connecting Rome with the eastern part of Italy across the Apennines. The Milvian Bridge was the only route into the city from the north across the Tiber River. Maxentius took his army out of Rome, crossed this bridge, and was determined to hold on to it at all costs on the opposite bank so that Constantine would be prevented from laying hold of it and then have his armies pour into Rome. But the day before, Constantine, a pagan, had a vision that would result in history changing forever. While contemporary accounts differ to a degree as to the details, Constantine's vision consisted of instructions to use the Chi as his standard in battle. The message given him accompanying the vision was, "In this sign conquer," in Latin, in Hoc Signo Vinces. And conquer he did. Two massive armies of over 100,000 clashed at the northern foot of this bridge, and in less than 4 hours, an unheard of speed for battle in those days, Maxentius was routed and he himself drowned here in the Tiber River trying to escape back to Rome. His body was fished out of the river, decapitated, and his head paraded into Rome on a pole in front of Constantine's victorious soldiers. Constantine brought his army into the city, but did not go to offer sacrifice at the temple of Jupiter, which was the custom for conquering generals. Instead, a short while later, he ended all persecutions against the faith and had various coins struck bearing the Chi, which, as far as can be determined by historians, had not been used by Catholics prior to this. He also continued to use the standard in his future battles. Even more importantly, it was about 10 years later that the Emperor Constantine, who insisted that the bishops of the time gather together in Nicaea and deal with the Arian heresy, the challenge by the priest, Arius, to the divinity of Christ. As a side note, Constantine's mother is St. Helena, who discovered the true cross in Jerusalem. She brought back to Rome many treasures from the Passion of our Lord, including the steps from the palace of Pontius Pilate, which Jesus descended to accept his cross after having had sentence passed on him. Why is all this important? Because it's of vital importance that the faithful never lose sight of their heritage. Our past was protected because of the future is destined. This must always be the uppermost thought in our minds. We belong to Christ and no one else. Even children do not belong to their parents. Their parents are stewards, in a sense, of bringing them up for Christ. Nothing in this life matters if the next life is lost. And there is much in this life which seeks to obscure that truth, particularly in contemporary culture. Today's world, much like that of imperial Rome, glorified the sexual, advanced to the notion of material gain and power. Human nature never changes. Man either embraces the truth because his soul recognizes its true liberation, or man tries to escape the truth because his body knows that its appetites are in conflict with the truth. Such is the sorry state of being fallen from grace and living with the effects of original sin. We're all faced with choices and battles, just as Constantine was. A little-known aspect of this battle here on the Milvian Bridge is that in the couple of months preceding the clash, Constantine had already defeated forces loyal to Maxentius further to the north. One of those Roman legions was headed up by a former general loyal to Constantine. He betrayed his emperor and paid for it with his head. There's a spiritual truth in all this blood and battle. Preparation wins the day of war. Maxentius had won battles before as well, but from behind the secure walls of Rome and against weaker foes. This time, out of pride, seeking the decisive and final crushing blow, he marched out to defeat right here. He was not prepared for what lay before him. On the other side of that bridge was a man who had placed his trust in this God who had assured him of victory if he would but only cooperate with heaven's plan. He did, and it is him who is remembered in history as a result. When Roman generals were victorious in battle, they would quite often build an arch to themselves with sculptures on it recalling the battle. Constantine's arch announcing his victory still stands 2,000 years later, boasting of its namesake. You will look throughout Rome in vain for the Arch of Maxentius, and that is now history. Both man's and heaven's unfolds. Be prepared for battle, and fight well, and victory is yours. Give in to temptation, live the life of the lukewarm and the unprepared for battle, and no one will even remember your name or accomplishments, because when the time for choosing comes, and it comes for all of us, you will drown in your own sins. So stand and fight evil in yourself. Listen to and follow the plans of heaven, and in this sign you shall conquer. From Rome, I'm Michael Vorse. God bless you.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.